see you.
Gary.
Welcome. I'm going to ask my panelists to please introduce themselves. One sentence, please. Gary?
I'm Gary Greene. We're architects and designers. I've been working in the region since the late 90s, starting in Middle East. And I led an international design practice for 26 years with my former firm from Singapore. Moved back to US in 2020, first year of pandemic, and started this new firm, Gary Greene Design, focused on hospitality.
Thank you.
All right. I'm David Vely, and I head up the development for Middle East, Africa, Indian Ocean, and India for Club Med.
Thank you, Laurinda. I'm Wesam Okasha. I'm the head of global development for the TUI hotels and resorts in Asia, China, and the EMEA regions.
And I'm Laurinda Marsh from Hansgrohe, responsible for Africa. I've been with the company for like 20 years. So we're talking coastal resets. Kenya's 500-kilometer coastline is dotted with aging, privately owned hotels. Many built in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. They struggle with outdated product, unclear ownership structures, unoptimized land, and yet they're sitting on prominent space. I think the single lever of opportunity really is how do you unlock that? How do you look at these amazing spaces with old buildings? And that's why we have the panelists today, because the real question is, we know the nodes of existing nodes like Mombasa, Dalindi, Wetamu. So these exist already, but beyond that, there's an enormous coastline of underdeveloped opportunity. And do you go and you build new, or do you go and take these old structures and reform them? So the question is, how does that look like to restructure the coastline if we're looking at age-old, so like decades-old structures? So I'm going to just open up and I'm going to ask each of you, for you, what do you see if you see coastal reset in Africa?
Okay, I'll take the floor. I would say it's a mixture, right? Of both greenfield and brownfield. I believe that indeed there are a lot of resorts which were developed back in the 70s, 80s, as you mentioned, who may not be so much relevant now in the expectations of modern travelers. So there are things to be done there, definitely in partnership, and obviously the potential also because the coastline is quite large. There are still a lot of underdeveloped land that may also be the opportunity to develop very relevant resorts and definitely put that coastline where it belongs, i.e. one of the most beautiful destinations in the world.
Thank you. You want to add to that?
Yeah, as pleasure. I think we have identified on 3 different models how can you really update and upgrade the outdated coastal region, north and south. There is the first model is surgical rewinding of the project. That's mean doing a renovation during the operation bit by bit, just to make sure that from the cash you can renovate and upgrade. This is what we did actually with our own property, the Baobab Hotel, and it went fantastically and is doing very, very well. And that confirmed that any new product will come to the coast will be definitely an added value, not only for the coast itself, but also for a lot of clientele who are seeking good products in the coast. The second one, there is the most of the property, in my personal opinion, they are so outdated that you can only knock them down and rebuild them. Now here you enter into a sort of a new challenge. If you do this, then you have to reapply to the permits, and you have to re-evaluate the project, and that's going to be taking ages and will apply to hidden costs, which nobody, no investor can really plan, because it's always like spontaneous on the last minute. And the third one is clearly the greenfield development, which, as David is saying, is the same thing. I mean, here there is two different challenges. The first one is really to clear the land, and this is like almost a mission impossible from the permits as well, but also in terms of pricing. I think due to the fact that there is no more so much space left and they are all occupied with outdated hotels, the land has become so expensive that a new investor and new development is almost not possible. So I think the most important thing is to invite really the community and the concerned authority to help a little bit to soften the hurdle of administration, and maybe the owners to get back to track on the realistic expectation of price or whatever a joint venture or a venture to do with investor. Otherwise, we will stand still and keep running on the same ride.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are good points, and it's hard to say without looking at the project in particular, but there is a breakover point. You consider it from a physical and a design standpoint, and there's two sides to that. One is the situation and the structure and the guest experience. The other is the part you don't see, which is the back of house and the operations and how it actually functions as a hotel or as a resort. And all that said, from a physical and a design standpoint, there is a breakover point where you're better off just tearing it down and starting over again. And we've got a number of projects like that. But then there's the regulatory and submissions framework. There could be heritage regulations as well if it's an older structure. So it might not be that simple a question. You got to tie it all together. But from a design standpoint, we're doing one in. It also matters if it was an independent hotel and you're now rebranding to an international operator, and they'll have different standards. We've got one in South Goa now in India that's it's a teardown. It's a historic property, one of the earliest resorts there, but you actually go in, and it's a matter. It's not just the structure itself. It's not just the inadequate back of house. It's the orientation and various aspects. There they got something called a CRZ line, which is a certain distance from the shore that you can't develop anything. Well, guess what? There's villas and structures in this property that are pre-existing. Okay, so they're grandfathered in. So you're not going to give them up. You can't rebuild them. But the structure itself of the main hotel, it makes more sense to tear down and start over again.
And with the erosion lines so much closer, how do you navigate that?
Well, that's part of the CRZ that I mentioned. But yeah, in general, you've got to, there's different layers of analysis. There's regulatory and legal and submissions. There's the physical and architectural, but you've got to look at it from an engineering standpoint. There's also conservation, whether there's nature and mangroves around and that sort of thing. Well, if it's a tear down and rebuild, that's easy enough to deal with the proper level for the occupied areas. If it's reuse, then that's a more careful evaluation. If you're renovating and reusing, it's a surgical process, right? And you cross the line where that gets more expensive than starting over again. But then there also maybe there's income aspects where you want to do it in phases and keep parts of it operating.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of elements that go into this.
Thank you. And Wesam, when it comes to sustainability and coastal developments, how do you guys look at it?
Well, thank you for this lovely question. I think sustainability is one of the biggest agenda we have in the group. We see it on the scale of our ecosystem is one of the most important for us. While it costs a lot of money, it is our social responsibility to the planet and to the destination where we are, just to make sure that we tick all the boxes and all the execution plan which we have to reduce the impact on the planet by 48.6% until 2030, and by 2045 we want to be on net zero. So this is a huge activity we are doing. So you have to imagine, if you want to reduce the kerosene in the aircraft fleet which we have, then you have to upgrade the fleet and you have to go through a lot of investment just to make sure that you are reducing the impact, but also using some other material which does not impact the planet as it is. Exactly the same thing, the famous cruisers, which are the polluter of the planet. We just invested in 5 new cruisers, average of 3,500 rooms. And these are and will be operated by nuclear power, which reduce 80% of the pollution. And it goes exactly into the operation of the hotel, the transportation of the domestic management companies, where we use now electric cars instead, and we will be rolling out the use of electric car all over. This is an important impact saver as well. But even in the hotel, we use now panels. We have invested in panels, especially in places where we have like a cluster of hotel, 20, 30 hotels. Then we do our own panels, and we feed them from the new energy. So this is something which we take it very seriously, and we introduce it as well for the new build. We introduced this here to new owners, and lucky enough and happy enough to see that owners are, the most of the owners with the new build are really willing to invest a little bit more in some items of sustainable items, but then at the end of the day they got it out at the top sheet, because you save money by the end of the day. Yeah.
David, and for Club Med, how important is sustainability? What is your approach?
First, I would say it's quite comforting to see that the industry as a whole has taken the measure of the direction we need to go. So we're no different. But I would like to step back. Club Med was designed back in 1950 as a sustainable company because it was all about nature and sport to start with. So we were sustainable even before we knew we were. And since then we've continued that line because all what we do are resorts on the most beautiful sites in the planet. And our mission is obviously to preserve those sites and to sometimes even improve them, whether it is on the coastline or whether it is in the ocean. So we partner with major organizations, large ONGs, to make sure that this is measured and this is achieved. We have a similar target, actually that's quite interesting, to reduce by 2030 compared to 2023 by 50% of carbon emission. So those are just one example. 97% of our portfolio now is Green Globe accredited, aiming at 100%. All the properties, the new build or the major renovation we do are BREEAM certified, very good or above. So we have all those things in place, which again were built in our DNA, and also when it's not built in the DNA, it's being pushed by the regulators, especially in Europe, which are quite pushy about that. But the combination of both, I would say, is good. It's good for everybody, including for owners for a long time. And I share your point of view that most of our owners are very favorable to it and are willing to do the extra mile to do it. Next property we're going to open in Oman, we have a shared target to go in the direction of zero net emission. Doesn't mean we'll reach zero net emission yet, but that's the intent to get there.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask this question for Gary. How do aging assets fare against modern ESG? Safety and climate adaptation. How would you comment on that?
ESG assets, is that what you said?
ESG and safety.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can answer that directly. We're designing sensibly and strategically in orientation, in configuration, in choices of materials, and where they're sourced, and local and regional sourcing of materials. There's specialists involved as far as engineering and particularly mechanical systems. I know sustainability is a priority for most of our clients and most of our guests. The question is cost. And there's often the question of first cost versus lifestyle cost, of course. And there's more resistance to the first cost. adds that may improve the ESG and improve the life cycle that are people want the label, they want LEED Gold or LEED Platinum, but then what's the cost?
Yeah.
And often that's a deterrent. So there's some balance there.
So if there was one, let me just repeat that. So one non-negotiable. So let's go back to coastal projects, coastal properties. What's the one non-negotiable thing that you would need to develop coastal areas? I'll start with you, Wesam, then we'll work it down. So
The
what's your one negotiable
the non-negotiable thing,
for Africa if you were to go to a coastal area to develop?
I would never put like high-rise in that beautiful place. We would always seek to integrate the projects. Even with volume, you can integrate the project into the nature and make sure that you don't need to build. You can restructure the thing just to be integrated in the community and to serve the community. But the most important as well, to make sure that the new building or any new project, even if it is like adaptive reuse or any type of project, does not stress out more the infrastructure which is already at the top of its level. That's mean in our projects we make sure that we come with solutions just to make sure that we can use our own produced water, for example, or new energy, just to make sure that we don't put more pressure on the water grid, on the electricity grid. But also we always avoid importation. That's mean instead to say we are German or we are coming with different type of European or British people, we want to import them food from outside. No, we don't do this. What we do, we clearly create communities to empower the local community, to give chances for small businesses, middle-sized businesses, to create around the project some sustainable product which we need in a high quality and in the quantity which we need, so that the community is fully integrated and we avoid to import from outside. And that gives like sense for not only for the hotel operation, but also for the environment around it.
David, and for Club Med, how would you approach that? What's your non-negotiable for developing in Africa?
I would say integration. Integration with the communities, integration with the landscape where we are, integration with the development vision of the country or the region where we stand, integration with the nature. In any typical site, we only artificialize between 10 and 15% of the site. The rest is nature, sports field, gardens, and things like that. Obviously, low rise. So that's the key word. And integration with the future in the sense of very light footprint and being as forward-thinking as possible in terms of those sustainability criteria. As others, by the way, we walk the talk in the sense that part of our corporate debt is indexed on our capacity to deliver the various ratio and metrics that I mentioned.
Thank you. Gary, you're non-negotiable.
Well, I think how can we optimize from the inside out, but minimize the footprint and impact to the surroundings and from the outside in? And from the inside out is guest experience, but then it's also the value and the performance of the asset as an investment and as a business for the owner from the inside out. From outside in, how do we minimize the profile, integrate with the landscape, be smart and naturalistic, I think, with water usage and how we're using the exterior areas. You want to, if you're maximizing the amenity from the inside out, you're optimizing the views, you're optimizing the use of the exterior landscape areas and the beach, etc. But how can I do that in a subtle a way? And if I'm a guest staying there, I want to get the full advantage, but then I also want to have the feeling, this pristine feeling like I haven't spoiled it, or the development hasn't spoiled it. There's a real balance to it.
Thank you. So lastly, I'm going to just ask you one question. So we've heard a lot about TUI's cluster developments in Africa. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, you are very well informed, huh? Yeah, in fact, this is a very successful business model, which we use normally in some destination where we have the opportunity to develop different segmentation, different type of hotels in one shot. The good thing about it for owners that you create 3, 4, or 5 different brands in one location. You cover up different source markets and different segmentation of the markets, and you build up in the middle a sort of a central production area where you can control better the quality but also the cost of it, and you distribute to this thing. In the reality, it looks like you do the luxury brand, which is the Mora, then the upper mid-scale and the core brand, the TUI Blue, and then you put the Robinson Club or the TUI Magic Life, or all of them together, like in Turkey, for example. We have one area, which is Dalaman. We have 7 different hotels, and these hotels are very efficient, and they do a lot of profit for the owners, because during the high season they are all full, and the production cost is not times 5. It's actually one production cost. Surely is a little bit more, but is distributed on the hotel. So this is like something which we are doing in Cape Verde. We're doing this in Turkey, in Spain, all over the places. It's very much successful, but also it returns back to the sustainability, because you are using less product, you are throwing out less product, no food waste. Very successful one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I think now we hand over to you.
Thank you very much. We have a little surprise today. And for the people who did not put...
Do you want us to play
the video? Yeah, we can play it during the... after this. So the one who... We are raffling one free stay in one of our hotels, either in Medina, Marrakesh, the TUI Blue in Marrakesh, or the Mora in Zanzibar. So here we have few business cards. The one who did not put the business card, you still have the time to put the business card here, and then we will make the raffle and announce the lucky winner. Don't be shy, come over. We can run the video, please. My goodness.
So we can just stay here.
TUI Blue has become the fastest growing hotel brand in TUI's history, with over 100 hotels worldwide. The brand's growth strategy includes expansion into new markets such as China, the Middle East, Africa, and the Indian Ocean, which is done by our different hotel development teams in Dubai, Hong Kong, and Bangkok. Our partners value our global reputation for leisure expertise, serving over 20 million customers annually with a fleet of 130 aircraft. TUI Blue, with a global review index exceeding 90%, is highly valued within TUI's customer base. Our teams are there to support and guide our partners with professional project management, industry-leading processes, and standards, making TUI Blue a reliable and innovative business partner. Once a hotel management or franchise contract is signed, our team provides a comprehensive 360-degree service, including project management supervision, connections with industry-leading suppliers and consultants, and ongoing support throughout the whole project life cycle. The brand emphasizes transparency, strong communication, and responsiveness to our partners' needs. Guided by heart, built on expertise.
So now it comes to the most exciting point. We need one volunteer person to come and mix the card with me, and one other to pull it. So please join me. What about you? Exactly. So please mix it very well with your hands, transparently. Put from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. Make sure that, thank you very much. Now we need someone else to pull out the card. Here we go. Mix again, please. And then you may pull one now from the middle, please. Let me see. Oh, this is mine. How did you get it? No, you may announce the winner. The winner is...
And the winner is Puneet Chawla.
Who is it? Ah! Is it here?
Puneet
Is it you?
Chawla. Apparently Puneet's not here. No, I'm joking, man. Come, Puneet. Come on stage.
No, but
Me. I'll take it.
no, but who's the winner
Yes,
now?
there. Puneet.
Come over.
This is him. A round of applause, Puneet. Go take a photo there with Mr. There we go.
Congratulations. Thank you. You have the choice now between the Mora, the luxury one in Zanzibar, or the Tui Blue in Marrakesh.
Oh boy.
Make your choice.
I have the CFO there, Mr. Mitesh. Which one?
He's gonna give it to you, maybe.
Which one? We'll go together, don't we?
Marrakesh, they say.
Marrakesh.
Whichever.
I know
take
why.
whichever you get.
I know. No, you choose. You just choose.
We'll go for Zanzibar.
You go for Zanzibar. or-
Sorry, CFO.
That's all right.
My boss is in Tanzania. I'll give you.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
Sorry. Thank you. We make a picture. I give you my business card. You can connect with me. Then we can coordinate everything.
I'm an insurance broker, so I'll insure you policy.
Thank you very much. Here. He is. Come. Come in the middle.